Hey guys, Ryan Steinolfson here with Accelerate Marketing. I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing, and today I'm going to go live as usual in order to help you guys generate more leads primarily through the optimization of your Google Local Service Ads page or your Google Business Profile page, and then conversion of those leads. I'm going to help you with converting those leads through the leveraging of or setting up of artificial intelligence or AI voice, so that all of your leads can be answered in 30 seconds, so that Google's happy, and so that you can, again, convert more of those leads and get more leads also, because you're going to be able to be open 24/7 as opposed to just from 9 to 5, because you can have your AI answering the phone for you 24/7 and responding to every type of lead that you would get, whether it's email, messaging, text, etc. So I do have somebody in the backstage, Drew. Hopefully, I'm going to be adding Drew here in a second. So just hold on, Drew. I did give you guys a description in the bottom of the video. You should see the description and the title. What we're going to be talking about today is some pretty cool stuff, and I wanted to show you. So we're going to be talking about 24/7 AI calls, GBP, and LSA hacks. Obviously equals explosive lead growth. So, some of the topics is the Google Business Profile deep optimization. And then that's one of the topics. We're going to be going over 4 topics. Then the other one is dominate local service ads. We're going to be focusing on how to complete your profiles properly using real world keywords, managing reviews, and maximizing service lists. So I'm going to be referencing a complete guide that is out there, and I think you guys will really get some good, some really good insight from that. So AI voice agents, 24/7 lead capture. We're going to be talking about that, like I said, and then LLMs for local messaging and chat responses. So we've talked about that many times. But I think that there is a lot of really new information that's out there that I think will help you guys understand some of the strategies that are working now, that are relevant today, that weren't even relevant maybe a month ago. So I'm going to go over those, and let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. We do have some people that I think that have jumped in here from X, and let's see, let me just add in, I want to add in X here because I think that is another. So, okay. I do want you guys to post any comments that you have. So if you have any comments or questions, please add those to your, add those to the video, because I will answer any questions or comments live here on the call. This is really a workshop. So if you want to join the workshop, I would recommend that you go to, I'm going to post a link here in 1 second. So there's the link. You can click on that link that I just posted on StreamYard, or that StreamYard link. That's what I use to broadcast to all my social media channels at once. So you can click on that link, you can jump in, you can join me, just like Drew is in the back office right now. You can either share your screen or share your camera or not. So you can either show yourself, or you can just use your audio to answer or to ask any questions. Or you can, like I said, you can post a comment below the video, and I will respond to all those comments immediately. Okay. So let me know what questions you have, and then Drew, are you there? Can you hear me, Drew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So what brings you here today?
So we are we're a real estate team, Central Pennsylvania. We've had really good results with local service ads. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of our top lead sources. Okay. And we feel like at this point we've kind of maxed out, our return on it, but we mm-hmm. aren't using like the AI voice agent or, any kind of automated response. It's mm-hmm. literally just all us either answering the phone or the one person on our team who has it linked to her texting. responding back to people. So there's something we can do to, boost that. Definitely interested in it.
No, I mean, thanks for joining. How'd you find out about us, by the way?
School.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, and that's a shameless plug for school right there. I mean, obviously, if you're not on school, I have two different communities on school. One is the local Lead Labs school community, and then I've got another one for another community that I have. But you obviously, schools is a great community in and of itself. It's a great way to learn for free. I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch any of the videos in the school community?
A few of them. I haven't gotten very far into it yet. But I saw you were doing this live webinar, so I figured, just jump on, see if I could learn something.
Absolutely. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you, putting yourself out there, and at least, a lot of people won't do this. So, I think it's good. I'll give you some, real world feedback here. And, what you just described there, Drew, is why I created. Well, first of all, let me just back up. So about 2 years ago, as most of us, or maybe a lot of people probably in the last year or so, started to find out about large language models and about ChatGPT, and obviously it's everywhere. You have to be under a rock to not hear about AI. So the question that every business owner has is, okay, I know I've got to incorporate AI in my business. So how do I do it? Where do I start? Right? That's kind of like, so I started with that question. Actually, I didn't start with that question. That's what was a little bit unique about my situation is I started with a problem. My problem was, for the past 16 years that I've been managing the local service ads and Google Business Profile pages for businesses, the number one problem I had is I couldn't get my businesses to answer the phone within 30 seconds or respond to message leads within 30 seconds. So what you gave me is literally like a softball. I mean, like you literally just pitched me a softball right into the sweet spot of my story, basically. So it fits really well. And your situation or your scenario, you might not even, well, most people, let me just tell you this. I mean, I probably had about 2 meetings, 3 meetings a day with business owners for the past 15, 16 years. And in those business meetings, or those strategy sessions or discovery calls that I've had, with local service ads, you can actually go in the back office, as and you can see, well, if you have an MCC account, my client center account, which allows you to see the calls to connected calls, you can actually see like what percentage of calls are being answered in 30 seconds or not. And every single time that I did that with business owners, even though they swore up and down that they answered all their calls in 30 seconds, on average, about 30% of calls were being answered after 30 seconds or not answered at all. That's like across the board. So that's a lot of calls. I mean, it's almost half of the calls that they're getting that they're paying for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that was the problem that I kept seeing every day. So I knew the problem, and so I went to this event that was down in Miami that was for AI, and I was like, back then it was just starting, like the all the hype, and so I'm like, I want to find out if they can solve my problem. My problem is up to that point, I was trying to put a Band-Aid on a solution or on an issue that the Band-Aid didn't work for. It didn't help the problem, because the Band-Aid is for me, the best Band-Aid out there was using call centers, like a call service. So, I mean, you've heard of probably a lot of these. So basically, you hire somebody. I got a question here really quick. Would turning my LSA off and on affect my ranking? Yes, Dallas, it would. Thanks for asking that question. Long and short of it is I was just on a call with a client just a little bit ago, and I apologize for kind of diverting here for a second, but I want to make sure that I answer this question. If you turn your LSA completely off, then it usually takes at least 2 to 3 weeks for it to even get back to where it was before you turned it off. What I would instead do, Dallas, is I would turn down your budget down to a very nominal amount instead of turning it off. And what we find is that if you do that, that you don't have that washout period. And sometimes the lead volume never goes back to the way that it was before you turned it off. That's another reason why you don't want to turn off your LSA. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. So getting back to what you were asking, Drew, or what we're talking about, I went down to this meeting down in Miami to find out if they could actually help solve the problem of getting the phones answered. Up to that point, like I was saying, the only solution was call services. And the problem with call services, and most people don't know this, is that about 30% of the calls that they answer, they promise a 99% answer rate. Basically 100% of calls are answered in 30 seconds. And they're right. They do answer them. The problem is that 30% of those calls go to a music hold. And businesses don't know that. And Google actually counts those calls as being missed calls, which you'd expect because nobody's communicating. It's just music. It's just, nobody's getting their questions answered. They're just being put on hold. So what was happening is we were referring businesses to a Band-Aid that actually hurt their account, because every single one of the answering services that we recommended, or everyone out there that we know of, we talked to a lot of them, they would promise the world, and every single time they would do the same thing. They would, 30 to 40% of calls would go to music hold, and those calls would all count against our clients, and they would decrease their rankings on local service ads. So I went to this meeting with one thing in mind, is to figure out how I can use artificial intelligence to answer the phone and to respond to message leads. Hence, fast forward, this was back before there was any voice, anything. I mean, there was no such thing as an AI voice. It was you could only communicate with AI via, typing and that sort of thing. So now, you see it's kind of ubiquitous. I mean, I don't know if you've probably heard some of these AI voice agents. Some of them are good, some of them are better than others. But the bottom line is, as a business, I think that if you don't adopt an AI agent soon, you're going to have to, because what's happening, and I'll show you on my screen here. Do you have any questions, or is that kind of?
No, I mean, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay, so let me present really quick. So let me share my screen, entire screen. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna, instead of doing this, I want to make sure that you can just see. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. So, let me go back to just sharing screen. I want to show my phone so you guys can see. It's better on the phone than on my laptop. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so let me share my screen. Hold on one second. Add to stage. There we go. Wait, why is it not? Okay, share screen. Okay, window. There we go. Okay, share. All right, so you can see my phone. Okay, so if I type in, for example, what area are you in?
Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Okay, how do you spell that? C-A-M?
C-A-M-P space H-I-L-L.
Oh, Camp Hill.
Yep.
Okay, so Realtor, Camp Hill, PA. Okay. Okay, so they're not doing it for your vertical yet, but it's on its way. And what I'm referring to is this. If they're doing it for HVAC. Yeah. So here, you see where it says get competitive quotes? So it used to be that if you sent a message lead to somebody, that once you send a message lead, or once you send a message to a business, once somebody, found a business and they said, okay, I want to communicate with this business, I want to send a message to them. After that message was sent, Google would then say, okay, do you want to send that same message to 3 other businesses to, help you get more quotes or to reach out to more businesses? That used to be the only, but there was a problem. A lot of business owners had a lot of problem with that, because then basically that same lead's being sold, 3 or 4 times. And so now Google's even doing that more often. They're just putting it right in the search results. So my point in bringing this up is that if you don't have an automated system to respond to what I think is going to be many more message leads that are going to be coming your way because of this type of a competitive quote environment that Google is creating. And also this is happening even with voice. Google in some markets are now testing having an AI make outbound calls on your behalf to get quotes. So you could say, okay, there's going to be a button here. Instead of saying get competitive quotes via message, it'll say, have our Gemini AI call 4 businesses for you and then summarize the results and get back to you. So if you don't have on your end an AI agent to handle, like to communicate with the agent that Google's using to reach out to your business, then you're not going to be able to compete, I think, in about probably 2 or 3 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another reason why this is like the writing's on the wall. This just started about a month ago. The AI agent making outbound calls on your behalf started about 2 months ago. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be more phone calls and more message leads, et cetera, that they're going to be coming your way. And so, so let me go back to your specific scenario, because I want to make sure that I give you as much insight as possible here. So this is the search that you'd want to show up for, obviously.
Yep. And we are actually that second one down, Jennifer Hollister Group.
Okay, cool. So you guys are doing a good job here. You've either been watching my videos or, somebody's videos for a little while, and, you've been, getting your reviews, you probably know it's the 3 R's. It's reviews, radius, response rate. So that's how you rank higher here. I like how you're taking message leads. You said that somebody on your team is actually responding to these message leads, which is great. But as life happens, and sometimes it's hard to respond to these message leads. So
Right.
This is where having an AI that you set up to respond the way that you want it to respond, to have an end result that you want, which is either like, booking a call. You can have the AI agent even do a warm transfer on voice calls, and it'll summarize the information, and so that the person doesn't have to repeat themselves, before it transfers the call, which is really cool. That kind of technology is available now as well. But okay, so you're doing well here for the keyword, or for the keyword and your city that you want to show up for. Are there any other cities that you'd want to show up for besides Camp Hill, or is that primarily?
Yeah. So our 2 other big ones are Mechanicsburg,
Okay.
and Hershey.
Okay. Yep. Good old Hershey. That's the chocolate place. Yep. Awesome. Okay. So good. You're doing good there. And then you're showing up as number 2. And what kind of volume are you getting for leads from LSA? You're probably getting a decent number.
Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
It's at least a couple a week.
Okay. That's good.
That's kind of the best answer I can give you right now without going and digging into my numbers.
But that's good. I mean, if you're getting a couple a week, you're probably converting 1 in 3. So you're probably getting a new client a week, a new listing, almost every week or every other week from this, right?
Yeah. I mean, some people are, they're more in that like fact finding, investigative. They Google real estate agent near me, and they start calling agents.
Yep. No, got it. Okay. So So these are your competitors, and again, the way to show up higher is there's 3 ways. One is to get more reviews. The other is to answer the phone call faster and respond to the message leads faster, specifically within 30 seconds. And then the third is the service area. So have you listened? I know Google doesn't want you to do this. I don't know how many of my videos you've watched or others, on LSA, but have you put in your zip codes along with your? I know Google says
Yes.
don't do that, but you put in the zip codes and the cities that you
Yep.
target. Okay, good. That's good. Sometimes you don't always, want to listen to what Google says, because what they say and what actually works are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's one of the scenarios that we found. So let me just go into your LSA page here. Okay. So here, okay. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that before I click. Let me just see if it shows it again. Hold on. There, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So typically replies in an hour. That I would love to see that be in minutes, because what's going to happen is once you have, hold on, let me just do this again here. Once you have this show up eventually in your
Mm-hmm.
vertical, and somebody says, okay, I want to send this message and my email to 4 different businesses, you're going to be more likely to be one of those 4 businesses if you're within minutes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And so here, see where it says get more? I'm just going to scroll down here because I want you to see something. So if I go to more, oh, sorry. Let me go back to yours. I was going into, hold on one second. So if I go back to realtors, so the way to find out how your competitors are doing with responding to their message leads, how fast they're responding, is that you just keep going to where it says more real estate agents, and eventually you'll see this.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Okay. So Joy Daniels, not your competition. She's typically replies in a day. Oh, wow. Okay. So here you go. This is your what you want. And then
Right.
typically replies in a few hours. So you can see, if you get down to minutes, you're going to be that one of 4 almost every time. Or if somebody sends a message lead, this is how Google decides. If I sent this message out, the next thing Google will say is, do you want to send this lead to 3 other, to these 3 other businesses? And who do you think they're going to list? They're going to list the ones that respond the fastest.
Yeah.
They want the name of the game for Google is they just want to create a great experience for the people that are using their platform, their software. Their search engine is basically a software, and they want people to be happy to be able to get what they came there for. And they want, and this is one of the reasons why Google uses the response rate as one of the indicators of who they send leads to. Because let's face it, I mean, we've all tried to call a business and then nobody answers, and that's a very poor experience. It's a very bad experience, and this is the reason why, even if it's AI. And by the way, with AI, you almost can't tell that it's artificial intelligence. So the next thing that we could do is I could even make it so that we can listen to the AI and do an example of one. Have you heard what it sounds like? Or are you familiar?
I mean, it's so hard to tell anymore.
Yeah.
Right. You used to be able to tell this isn't a real person. But a lot of them, you're kind of 50-50. So I may have heard it and just don't know, but none that I specifically remember.
Okay.
Knowing it was an AI agent.
Yeah. And so are you, yeah. So you're saying it's hard to tell if you're even talking to an agent or not.
Mm-hmm.
And but you have talked to some, so you're familiar with how the AI agents sound. So you're familiar. Okay, good. Okay. So, because I could call one of ours so that people can, let me just go through the other thing that I wanted to ask you in particular is, in your areas, Hershey and the other areas, do you have a lot of people that speak other languages that where it would be beneficial that the AI speaks other languages? or no?
I mean, yes, we do have an increasing population of people who speak other languages.
Okay, good. So that's another big advantage, is that in addition to the fact that, and by the way, let me just look and see if you guys are set up this way. Okay, good. Open 24 hours. I wanted to make sure, because the AI is going to allow you to do that. Now, who's answering your calls after 5 o'clock? Is that same?
So we have a team that, like, it'll ring to 5 or 6 of us.
Okay.
And so it's just an issue of speed to lead, whoever's available and sees the phone ring and picks it up.
Okay. So even after hours, you guys are pretty good, because it basically does like kind of a
We're
round
real
robin.
estate agents, man. We don't have hours.
I know. I get it. So you guys, I like the way that's set up, because that's the way, I wish every business was set up, because, where everybody's kind of like running after the, trying to get the phone, because that's the way it should be, really. And bless you. And the other thing is that, okay, so you've got a pretty good after hours coverage. I wish I could actually look at your LSA account and see. Do you have it in an MCC account? Are you able to see the calls versus connected calls?
I don't think so. I think I would have to get into a different account for that.
Yeah. So all that an MCC account, it's called My Client Center. It's basically just a manager account that manages other LSA accounts. So, but what that does is, when you put a local service ads or multiple LSA accounts in the MCC account, it gives you one more layer of awareness. What they do is they create a basically like a spreadsheet where it gives you columns, and it helps you see how many calls you received and how many you actually answered in 30 seconds. So, which is very valuable information, because then in black and white. And I've had many conversations with business owners where they're like, no, I answer all the calls. And then, I'm literally looking at the data and I'm going, no, it says you answered 70%, and yeah. So that information's valuable to get. And, I would this is one of the reasons why, I typically would recommend that you have somebody that's either a partner on local service ads, manage your account. Our agency we're partners, and we're one of 40 agencies throughout the world that have been selected to be partners, and you have to earn that over time. You have to manage so many accounts, and by managing thousands of accounts, we've seen, almost every scenario. And that's the reason why I'm able to give you some of these insights, because, we've seen a lot of these things, over the years. So, okay. So definitely want to try to pull your LSA into an MCC account. You might want to write that down. And the other thing is so that you can see that calls versus connected calls, and you can see the percentage that are being answered, and you can see which ones are missed. Are you going in and looking at each lead and seeing if all of them are being answered or respond? Are you doing that, or somebody?
Somebody is. It's usually not me.
Yeah.
And we do track this stuff at, probably a higher level than a lot of companies, because we know that this is our income. And we know that calls get missed. That's one of the reasons that I'm jumping on here trying to figure out, is there a solution for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just cut right to the chase. I want to make sure that, that I answer your questions. So if I were you, one of the questions that I'd be answering or asking is, I'm just telling you this because this is really I think the next best place for us to go to is, okay, if you, and the reason why I asked you earlier how you have your calls being answered is because then I can at least give you a solution that might help you. So, what I would recommend, the best place to start, whether it's with us or anybody else that can give you an AI voice agent, is that you set up the AI agent as at least, at a bare minimum, as a backup for your phone calls, and to respond to all your message leads. Full stop. Because the AI agent's going to respond to all because right now we know that you as good as you're doing right now, which is, I think, probably the best you guys can do, you're responding in an hour, which is good, but it's just not good enough.
Right.
Does that make sense? So I would turn all of your message leads over to AI and get that typically replies down from an hour to 15 to minutes, like Chris Timmons is doing. And then that'll take about a month to change. And by doing that, you're not only are you going to get more leads because people are going to see that you respond in minutes and not hours, but you'll also convert more of those leads. I mean, a lot. So then for voice, and this is one of the unique things that we've done with our AI agent, is because we've been doing this for so long, we didn't just create an AI voice agent. We created a voice agent that works in conjunction with a call flow, a call flow service. So what we've created is an AI voice agent that also has a call flow system built into it. And the reason why that's important is because then what we can do is we can say, okay, you don't need to, I don't know if you're using like what call tracking you're using, but I'm sure you are in order to be able to do the round robin and,
we use CallRail.
CallRail. Okay. So CallRail is great. I was going to say CallRail is one of the ones that we recommend and have been recommending for the past, 10 years. I speak for them. I've spoken, I've done a Google LSA and CallRail webinar one time I hosted. So I'm very familiar with them. If you don't use CallRail, a lot of people use RingCentral, and it allows you to do the things like you're doing, where you can do you can ring multiple numbers at the same time. That's one of the reasons why I recommend using a call, like a call service like that, or a call tracking. It's not for the call tracking. It's actually for the other ancillary services that they offer, which I think are even more important. The other big service that those call tracking systems offer is what's called a call flow. So what a call flow is, and you probably know this, is that basically you can flow the calls from 9 to 5 to certain numbers, and then you can flow the calls after 5 o'clock, for example, to different numbers in order to increase the likelihood that the calls are answered within 30 seconds. So we built that call flow system into our AI voice agent. So you don't have to go to, we can set it up to work with CallRail, but if you don't have it, we have it built into our system. The third reason to have a call tracking system like you have is to set up that 30-second delay. Okay, meaning if Jennifer or you or whoever is on that, the call flow to answer to be all hands on deck, those 5 numbers, if one of those people don't answer within 30 seconds, then it automatically flips over to the AI. So that can be set up in your call tracking, which is CallRail, and it's built into our software as well. But you've got a great system. We can work with it and make it so that you can do the things that I just mentioned, that you can have that 30-second delay and make sure that any calls that are not being answered by Jennifer or yourself or the other 3 people, that they can for sure be answered by the AI.
Right.
And then that will increase your lead volume for voice calls as well. So, you get an increase in lead volume from message leads, and you'd also get an increase in lead volume for voice as well, because you're going to get a better conversion rate because you're going to answer more of the calls. And then those calls that are answered by the AI, the typical scenario that we see is that businesses, the end result that they want, they can choose to either because we integrate with like Go High Level. Do you use a CRM or what?
Yeah, we use a system called Lofty.
Lofty, okay.
It's a real estate CRM. Yeah,
okay. So we haven't integrated with Lofty yet, but what you can do is we can what do you use for your calendar? You use Lofty for your calendars, for everybody's calendar as well?
Google.
Okay, good. So we integrate with Google Calendar. So what we can do is we can have the AI agent, if you want, for example, schedule an appointment. If it gathers all the information that you want it to gather, and we can give it the voice that you want it to have. It can, we can even clone your voice if you want, or Jennifer's or whoever. But the main thing is that we capture the information, we qualify the person, and then we do typically one of 2 things. We either do a warm transfer, like I explained earlier, or we can have the AI agent book an appointment directly on your Google Calendar. Right. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I mean, so okay, connection paused. I don't know why it just, okay. Let me see, resume. So what I would recommend is that I'm going to set you up with Mary, my assistant. She'll be able to schedule an appointment with somebody on my team, okay, and they'll be able to really, like do a better audit. Like what I would suggest is to have my team at Accelerate do an audit of your Jennifer Hollister Group page, and Mary and we do this all by hand. It's not done by AI at all. We literally go out. We spend about an hour doing an audit of your page. All we need is your CID number. So your 10-digit, customer ID number, and then we would, look at your page. We can then pull your page into our MCC account, and we can give you the information that I was telling you about earlier, which is your calls versus connected calls. So we can see, how many calls are not being answered in 30 seconds and that sort of thing. And that way he can also see if maybe there's an opportunity for us to help you optimize your local service ads page as well, because there might be a way to do that.
Yeah. What's the cost for something like that?
So good question. So the cost for monthly management of the LSA page is it's right around, I gotta look, it's $1,000 a month, I believe, for that. And then for the AI agent, it's between $350 and $500 a month, depending on the plan that you go with. So that's the rough estimate of that. And I think there's going to be more conversations. Like I started doing these live videos probably like 8 or 9 months ago, and it's interesting. I mean, more people are now joining the live videos with questions like you have, like how do I solve for this problem? I know that AI can do this, so how do I make this happen? Versus 8 or 9 months ago, people were just like, holy cow, you can do that. So it's interesting how people are really educating themselves and finding out about what AI can do, and now they're looking for the solutions, as opposed to before I was just like, just educating people on what's available.
Right.
So it's interesting how the market is shifting. So yeah, and to that point, I've been doing this for a little while, and I can tell you that the opportunity for a guy like you that's going out there and looking for ways that you can stay ahead of the competition is every single time that I've seen a new technology come to the market, whether, I'll go all the way back to when Google Ads started 16 or 15 years ago. The people that adopted Google Ads in the beginning were getting insanely cheap, pay-per-click, costs. I mean, it would cost them like nothing, like pennies. Whereas those same clicks today would cost tens or hundreds of dollars. So what I'm trying to say, and the same thing with like Facebook ads, and the same thing with even like Google search engine optimization. The people that did that in the beginning, they just benefited so much from it because they were the early adopters and nobody else had that same technology. The same thing is applicable with artificial intelligence. I mean, it's, if the people that I really, I'm seeing this, the people that are adopting AI to do things like answer the phone, respond to message leads, are really have an opportunity, especially with local service ads, because of the way that local service ads works, to really leapfrog, ahead of their competition, and to make your job easier. I feel like, when you can, now look, I don't want to just, it's not all unicorns and rainbows. I mean, I'll tell you, it takes about a week to 2 weeks to really to really get the AI to where you want it to be. So the process of training the agent is really threefold. First, it's a prompt, and in that prompt, we're going to put things like, what questions do you want the AI agent to answer or to ask and to get answers to? Do you want the agent to get names and emails before, doing anything else? What's the goal of the AI agent? What information do you want the agent to scrape? Well, that's the second way that you train the agent, is the knowledge base. It's where we would actually refer the agent to your website to scrape all the information off of your Jennifer Hollister Group website, so that the agent is aware of everything that makes you guys unique. And then the third way is to upload like audio communications or like, calls that you've had with people from the beginning to end, so the AI agent can listen to those calls and understand how you guys do business and what a good call looks and sounds like, so that it can model that or use that as a model. So that's how you train the agent. And it takes, we've got to get those recorded calls. We just upload those as either a transcript or an MP3 file, and then the second part, or the second phase of the training is once we've created the prompt, we've scraped your website, and we've uploaded some examples of some really good calls, or the way that you want them to be, the calls to be, and the way that you want the agent to, the calls that you want the agent to mimic. Then the second phase of the training is to actually make a phone call to the AI agent, or make multiple phone calls. I would say about 10, and then also have about 10 to 20 message conversations or text conversations with it in order to make sure that it's actually responding the way that you want it to. And then what you can do is, that way you're able to identify the edge cases. You're able to identify, or when the agent is not responding the way that you want it to. And then you can just go in and you can change the agent, the way it communicates or the way it responds, so that it doesn't do that again. You'll actually go into the prompt and you'll change the prompt to make sure that it learns the way that you want it to respond. And or what you'll do is you'll go into the specific communication and you'll actually just edit that and say, okay, do it this way in the future, as opposed to the way that you responded. So you'll go into you can even go sentence by sentence, and you can either give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you give it a thumbs down, then you change the sentence, and then it records that, and it identifies, that's the way that you want it to respond in the future. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's, just to give you a little bit of an insight on, and everybody else that's watching, an insight on how this works. And this is really the best way to get started with AI is because you can, look, there's a lot of companies, ChatGPT included. They just announced, and I could pull it up here in a second. They just announced that they're starting a consulting business. In order to their consulting starts at like $1 million for an engagement. And what kind of consulting are they giving? They're giving consulting like I'm giving you right now. The only difference is that instead of just voice and message response, what they're doing is they're looking at all of your workflows, and they're using AI agents at every step in that process. So instead of just having an AI agent answer your phone and respond to message leads, what they're doing is once that person is qualified, they're looking at, okay, what's the next step in your workflow that an AI agent can step in and take over? Maybe it's, writing up the contract, maybe it's doing for you guys, comp analysis. I'm sure you're probably already doing that. This can all be automated. Every step of what you're doing, if you have a proper workflow, you can insert an AI agent in there. So this is just and it's in my opinion, it's the best place to start because it's in the beginning. Once you get the AI agent to to take that initial information down from that lead, that's why it's the best place to start. The agent now is trained, and that information can then be passed on to the next agent that needs to do the next step in the workflow that you guys have.
Right.
So yeah. So anyway, okay, shoot, sorry. Dallas, let me get back to you. I just saw that you had some questions here. But any other questions on your side, Drew?
No. I mean, that's great, man.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I jumped on here to do this.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. It was really, like I said, it was a softball. We've gone for a little while. I'm going to jump off here in like 5 or 10 minutes, but yeah, look, I thank you for jumping on. Thank you for, just ask questions also in the school community. Anybody that is not part of our school community, it's just school.com, SKOOL.com/local lead labs. Again, that's local lead labs. And, yeah, I mean, by the way, let me just show you. I want to show you let me remove this and hold on one second. I want to show you something, because I think what would help you as well is to consume some of this information. And then Dallas, I'm going to get your question in 1 second here. So if you go to school.com / okay. Come on, here we go. Okay. So yeah, it was just cool. I mean, by the way, if you're not in this group, you can see that I'm live right now. You can go to the calendar and you can see, when the workshops are. I haven't actually gone live for almost 5 weeks. I was on vacation. So it was good that you came on today, because I just got back. You can go here to the classroom, and this is where I would suggest that you start. If you've not watched these videos, I would start right here for you, Drew, because here's this section on AI for business. This is all free information.
Yeah.
I basically consolidated all my 16 years of knowledge of Google local service ads and Google business profile optimization and AI into this free training here. You can start here by going to welcome to the community, meet your coach, why this process works so well, and then you can go in here to local business crash course, and then AI for business. So I would definitely watch these videos, because it's really going to reiterate what I talked about today. And they're free, and each one's only like 10-15 minutes long. So I would watch those. You can see that they're right here. They're free. They're easy to consume. So, and for you guys that haven't watched this, or you don't know what the school community is about, this is it. Again, it's school.com /local lead labs. And yeah, I mean, if what I'll do, like I said, Drew, you can send me an email here to ryan@accelerateyourmarketing.com, and then I will connect you with Mary. So that's ryan@accelerateyourmarketing.com.
Okay.
Or you can text me at 619-304-5155. Let me just, I'll put that up on the screen there. You can text me there as well. And for anybody that, wants an audit, just like I was telling you, Drew, that, that we can give you can text the word audit to that number, and we can do that for you as well. So yeah, thanks for jumping on. And I'm going to answer, Dallas's questions. And if you want to stay on, you can. If not, I understand if you got to jump.
Cool. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yep. See you. All right. So let me, all right. So Dallas, so let me just show you here. So your business address also affects your LSA ranking. Yeah, it does. It can. And I apologize. It took so long to get to your question here. Okay. So business, it can affect your LSA ranking. Not really. It's not going to affect your LSA ranking. Well, yes, it can, because the 3 R's: reviews, radius, response rate. The radius has to do with not only the service areas that you identify that you can take or that you can cover, but also what Google's going to do. Let's say that you're down here in your service areas like this. Let's say you're down here and your competitor's up here. If somebody's searching right here next to where you're at, then they're more likely to show your listing than this guy's over here, because you're closer to that person that's searching for your type of business. Now, they're also going to take into account the reviews and the response time as well. So but if all things were being equal, if you're closer to that searcher in terms of your address, then yes, you're more likely to be shown to that person that is searching for your type of business, all things being equal. I service an 80 plus mile radius. Should I be targeting counties or cities? Does it even? Yes. With it all rank, will it all? Okay. No, you definitely, and we created this in our software. We created a way for you to identify the cities and the zip codes that you cover. So what you do is you just like in Google Ads, you can identify either a radius, or you can use a pen, or like it's a pointer, and you can literally draw the area that you want to cover, and it will give you back all the cities and zip codes that are in that area. Then you copy those and you paste them into your local service ads account. Because you do want to identify both the cities, counties, and zip codes. Because if somebody searches by zip code and you don't identify the zip codes that you cover, in addition to the cities and counties, then you're going to be less likely to show up. I've proven that over and over again, and people think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, I've proven it on this show about 4 months ago with somebody that jumped on this WikiWatchy, Michael from WikiWatchy, whatever, window washers. So, excuse me for asking so many questions, but would manual bidding be better than maximized leads? It depends. I got 2 questions here, but it depends. If it depends, you've got to test it. And I wouldn't go back and forth and back and forth. You switch it, because like I said, you don't want to turn off your ads again, and you don't want to keep switching your bidding strategy from maximize leads to maximize bids. If you do that, you're going to screw up your account, and it takes about 2 weeks for it to reset and start sending you leads. So if you do it, you just do it once, and if it doesn't work, you switch it back. So every vertical is different. I wish I had a finite answer for you on that. If I bid higher than my average cost per lead with manual bidding, then what? Okay, if I bid higher than my average cost per lead with manual bidding, what that boosts my ranking? Will that build? Okay. Yeah, it can. If you bid more than the average cost per lead, then it will most likely increase your ranking, because it means that you're outbidding everybody else. If the average cost per bid is 200 and you bid 300, you potentially could have a chance to rank higher, and you would potentially also obviously pay more per lead. So I hope that answers your questions, Dallas. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please go ahead and jump into the school community. We have a really good conversation, a lot of really good conversations going on over there. You can go to the community tab here. You can rate something. You can obviously you can identify what category it should be in, either questions, announcements. So probably it's going to be a question. And the best is to submit a question as a Loom video. They also allow you to record your screen on your phone and in Loom as well, which is great. Those are the best questions. If you can show instead of tell, that's the best way to submit a question. And then either Roxanne, who's my community manager, or myself will respond to all questions, typically within 24 hours. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I hope that, so once you go to the community, post a comment, introduce yourself to everybody once you jump in here. you can see we've got about almost 429 members. We've really jumped up a lot recently. Calendar, you can look at the members there, map, you can see where all the people are from the community. And then this is just a little bit more information about the community itself. So I hope this makes sense, guys. Let me know what questions you have. You can also text us at 619-304-5155. I posted that earlier. So let me just show you 619. There we go. You can get a free audit. I mean, we spend, like I told Drew, we spend about an hour doing each one of these audits. And yeah, I mean, it really can give you insight, because we don't take everybody on for local service ads. For the reasons that I mentioned earlier, a lot of times when we do the audit, we see that a lot of businesses have already, for lack of a better word, they've already screwed up their account, meaning they've already got a response rate that's not good, meaning that they've got a lot of calls that they've answered after 30 seconds. That's a problem, because to get Google to start sending you leads after it's already seen that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing is next to impossible. So we don't take about 30 to 40% of people that we do audits for, even if they want to be our clients. So we've done that. We've made a business decision to do it that way, because we've taken on businesses that we now know don't fit our avatar, and it's bit us in the butt. And so we just want to make sure that we only take on clients that fit our avatar, that we can get a good long-term result for. We only want to take on clients that we know that we can benefit and give value to. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, let me know what other questions you have. And again, you can, send in comments like Dallas did. I mean, I really appreciate, all the comments that Dallas gave here, or all the questions. And, I really appreciate Drew coming in. We're going to post this in the school community. Hopefully you can see, I tried to give as much value, like, to the business that actually takes the time to jump into this is supposed to be a workshop. I mean, to jump into this workshop. I mean, this is supposed to be a workshop where you guys are, jumping in, asking questions. And I look at I basically do a live audit of your business, and that makes it valuable and fun for everybody. And also, and really valuable for the person that is in the hot seat, so to speak, because, I'm going to focus on your business. I'm going to use all of my knowledge, like, hopefully you saw with Drew today, to really help you get the best results that you possibly can, whether you use us or not. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can, again, text those to us, 619-304-5155. Join our school community, skool.com/local lead labs. Jump in there, write something, introduce yourself, go to the classroom, and consume the information there in the classroom. Okay. Thanks, guys. Talk soon. See you next week. We do this every week at 2 Eastern and 11 Pacific. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.